Hey, what's up, guys? I wanted to make this to give some insight into something I've experienced. So, my proof, they always try to ask for proof of the black pill. The black pill is basically realism. It's realism without coping or emotional thinking. It's very truthful perspective. That's why I respect the black pill a lot. Now, there is also a subset of men who are in the black pill who, instead of purely being objective on it, they become very negative and they, like, what's his name? Oreo Man? Like, I saw a video of that guy moping. But, anyways, I wanted to say that I've been getting more in shape, and I want this to be like a motivation for a lot of other guys because you have a lot more control than you think. You have a lot more control of your situation than you think, and I'm not with the Face LMS's thinking that it's over. I don't think it's over. I think it's a lot harder than it's ever been. I think though that with improvement, it may be possible for you to do well. Now, a couple of things. All right. So, number one, girls, yes, they tend to judge men by their appearance. Now, let's say this. There are men who, for instance, aren't very good genetically, but they dress in certain ways that are stylish. They might be short, they might be whatever. They might have asymmetrical faces, but a lot of the times they present their appearance, their presentation is attractive. Now, yes, women do look at biological traits. Number one, I do think that, but I think style can go a lot longer way than people realize. Okay, so I'll give you an example. Never mind. It's not a good example, but so the thing that I've been doing, and it's actually been improving my life all around. Like, I talked to my dad last night, and my dad is a good-looking guy. All right, my dad grew up being a very handsome guy. Like, everyone would say that he like a model type looking guy. That's my dad. And I talked to my dad last night, and I asked him. He's in his 60s, man. Like, he's experienced life. He knows life. I asked him about. Finally, I started asking him about looks, because he's a good looking. Finally, I started asking him. I never asked him about it before, but I asked him how looks affect your life, and he said that it's the most important thing. My dad said your looks are the most important thing when it comes to social value and like rising in life. Your looks are super important. He said it's number one. People don't realize how massive of effect looks actually have. People really don't realize. So I asked him then, like, Dad, do you think your life would have been way different if you were ugly, for instance? And he said 100%. He said he wouldn't have gotten a lot of positions, his jobs. He wouldn't have been hired. He would have not been treated as nicely. He knew that his looks were such an asset in life. So that's coming from a 60-year-old man who actually was good looking. You have 60-year-old men who are ugly who say that, but there's a 60-year-old man who's good looking in the past who's also saying that. So if there's people arguing with you about looks, don't listen to them. I'm promising you, improving your looks is unfortunately, it's sad because our looks are just something that they're not a big part of who we are as individuals, unless we're constantly working on them, and it's like they do indicate who you are a bit, but in the sense that they indicate how you take care of your health, for instance. But some people have worse genetics than others, and it's sad that we can't be appreciated as much for the actual individuals we are on the inside, the way we think, and our characters and our virtue and our morality and our ethics and our philosophies and our thinking. We're not really judged by that. We're judged through our looks. We are completely judged through our looks by women. It's true. I noticed that the one thing, I'll give you guys a explanation. My life, I've been like on both sides of the fence. So on one side of the fence, I've been overweight. You know, I did always have a decent facial bone structure, right? But I was overweight in the past, right? And I was also unhealthy in the past, etc. When I fixed my health and when I lost weight, I noticed the better my health is and the lower body fat I have, I tend to be a lot more attractive to women. I'll give you an example of what I can do. And I'm unique, though. I'll tell you guys a secret. I was asked to be a pickup artist instructor in New York City. I'm not kidding. I was interviewed by a Japanese pickup artist podcast. You're not going to figure out who I am because I'm not going to let that be known. But I was interviewed. There's an interview of me on YouTube. You probably wouldn't find it, though. But it's on YouTube. And so basically, I was interviewed because I posted in the Telegram chat, in the Pickup Artist Telegram chat, there's a, United States Pickup Artist Telegram chat, believe it or not. And there's people who post their stories, etc. I posted my stories and people were like shocked, okay? Like they were surprised at what I was able to do. Now, here's an example of what happened today. I'm walking through the city and I meet a girl right when I come out of the subway, and I immediately start talking to her, and I started smiling, and I started, it was a sunny day, so I'm in a charming mentality, and I told her, I said, pretty much I just asked her, like, are you from the city? What do you do? Are you blah, blah, blah. I asked her some banal questions. Then as she's talking, I say midway through while she's talking, I say, I tell her what I say. I said, we should get together sometime. And she just said yes. And she gave me your number. And she, so I'm telling you this, when I was overweight, I would have never been able to do something like that. But not only that, on the subway ride over to where I was headed, I met another girl on the train and we went and got into a long conversation in the train. So it was in a crowded subway cart. She didn't sit down when she could have. She just stood next to me talking. And she was very curious, talking a lot, asking a lot of questions, making close eye contact. Then later on, I ran into another girl walking on the street, literally probably 30 minutes later. Ran into her, started talking to her. What happened? Basically, I was just in a charming mode, sunny weather. I was smiling. I was very bright, and I got her number. I just talked to her on the street. It was in the middle of the street. I just stopped her. I said, "Hey, excuse me." One of the things I do, I stop a girl and I say, "Hey, excuse me, what?" And I pretend I'm looking for directions. I point my finger in the distance and I say, "What is your name?" And then I put my hand out. So usually they laugh when I do that, but I tell you, man. But hold on. So I do get a lot of successes, but man, I get really the opposite as well. For instance, I was walking outside the Whole Foods, and I run into this girl. My approach was really stupid. She walked by me while I tried to stop her, and then I ran back at her, and she turned around, noticing that I'm running, and it kind of worried her, I guess. And then I was acting really nervous because I knew that she was kind of alarmed or something that I ran behind her or something. I don't know. Girls here are irrationally afraid. It's just a thing in cities. But so she gave me no indication of interest at all, and it was very awkward. The rejection. I got rejected. Okay, so most girls did give me their numbers today, but a few of them gave me some really weird negative vibes, negative. So I want you guys to know, That might be the case for a lot of you guys. You might go out and it could be the opposite. You could get like a few girls who say yes and actually like you, and a lot of them who say no. I think it is in a way a numbers game, but let's be real. That numbers game is those numbers are highly dictated by your attractiveness as a guy. So if you are a very good looking guy, the numbers game becomes a lot more in your favor. The odds are stacked way in your favor. If you're an ugly guy, it's difficult. But I'm saying what you guys should do is really work on your attractiveness biologically and your style. I tell you, style can make a big difference in your attractiveness to women. I'll tell you this. Oh my God, it's crazy. All right, I got my ear pierced, right? And I'm wearing like a black turtleneck sweater, and I'm also wearing a pea coat, and I'm wearing a silver belt, and I'm wearing black pants, dark brown dress shoes. I look real slick. I look good, right? And I tell you, the earring, I automatically notice a difference in how women behave by my earring. I'm not saying the earring turns the girl on, but it alters her perception of you. So I notice that they think I'm more of a fun, unconventional type of guy when they see the earring. Now, I know there's going to be black pill people saying, oh, you're stupid. You think, girls only care about bone structure, etc. Yeah, I agree that most women are pretty much primarily focused on biological indicators, and they make a huge difference. What I'm saying is that you should work on those aspects the best you can. The best you can. And I'm saying if that means plastic surgery, I'm saying if that means hair transplant, do it. And do it fast. Do it as your number one priority. Because like my father said, how you look is the biggest thing in your life. It is the biggest changer of your life. So remember that. And I hope you guys well. There's some beautiful girls messaging me right now. I'm not kidding, man. I'm not Chad. Remember, I'm 5'10", and I'm actually, let's call it ethnic. But yeah, the girls who they're messaging right now. I met the girls earlier today. I said, Rose, it was a pleasure. And then she responded with a smiley face. So man, it is bad, but I'm telling you guys, for me, this was not possible a few years ago. These type of reactions I'm getting, not possible a few years ago. I'm telling you. Let's see. So you guys are talking, when I'm speaking, man, you're talking to a guy who's experienced a lot with women. I've experienced a lot, and I've experienced the different sides, and I've also experienced incel type situation, like terrible, like really. It's a different reality for a guy who's like extremely like disfigured than a guy who's average, right? And a guy who's but I'll tell you guys, look at the guy, more plates, more dates. Look at that guy. Look at how he used to look, and look at how he looks now. He's a pretty good looking dude at this point. He did everything he could. He worked out. He got his muscles bigger. He lost body fat. He started improving his posture, so his face kind of improved too. But before that, he was a below average looking guy. And now he's a decently good looking guy through a lot of effort, a lot of work. So what I say is not even just for women, but like in general, one of the biggest things you could do to improve your physical appearance is improve your diet. So, there's a Dr. Gundry, I think is his name. He said the biggest component aspect that will determine how you look is actually mostly, it's genetics first, but number two, what you eat. So I keep my diet very clean. I eat very healthy type of foods. I never eat unhealthy food, ever. I avoid McDonald's chips like the plague. I don't have any. I don't have anything sugary. I eat only natural foods. Only natural foods. I eat things like beef liver, chicken, fish, kale, broccoli. I always have apple cider vinegar and olive oil in all my meals. I do something called ketogenic diet, paleo ketogenic diet. There's a very good doctor that I really like. He has a YouTube channel called Dr. Berg, and he has a lot of good information on there. And I follow his teachings, and they actually have a huge effect on my health. You know, so improving what you eat, will improve the way you look significantly. So will working out. I notice when I do heavy weightlifting, my skin changes. I lose wrinkles when I do it. And that's the case for a lot of people. They did studies on this where weight training can reverse like 20 to 40 years of aging. So really get into weight training. I'm not saying look like... There's this guy who goes to my gym who's standing there doing like 400-pound deadlifts, and he looks like shit. He looks like complete dog shit. Listen, if he's trying to prepare for the NFL, I understand. But he's just some regular dude who's lifting. He's lifting in a way that will make him like very strong, but not in a way that will make him look good. You don't want to look like that. He looks like shit. And I look at him, I'm like, damn, that is such a waste of energy. Why are you doing that? What is the purpose behind it? Why don't you do a regimen that's more like geared towards making you look better, And even then, if, I hear too heavy of weights can be hard on your joints. Like, why would you do that? So there's this guy at my gym, he's doing that. I'm like, yeah, you could lift all that you want, but no girl's going to be coming near you, bro. I look at him, I'm kind of like laughing under my breath. I'm like, damn, no one lifts weight for no reason. He's trying to lift weights to, I don't know, be the strongest dude in like the gym. I don't understand what his goal is, but he's lifting in a way that's not going to make him an attractive man. And he isn't attractive. His body looks like a some dude from the chess club or something. He lifts a very significant amount of weight, but he doesn't look good. He just does not look good. He doesn't even look strong. He just looks kind of normal. And I'm doing workouts that are less taxing, but they're more like geared around gaining muscular size, and I take particular supplements that help with that. And I tell you guys, man, I am excited though for myself because I feel like there are possibilities, and I think for you guys as well. I want you guys to, because it was not long ago that I thought everything was over, and it might be over for a lot of you guys. It might be over, but I want you guys to actually put effort into trying your best to improve your lives and yourselves and your attractiveness, etc. Do what you can. You live one time. It's a waste of time to sit and mope. It's a waste of damn time. What I'm saying is do your best to be the best you can. All right? And I'm just excited because it seems to be the formula that I made seems to be working. I'll give you guys something that I read in a book recently that's a very good book. Basically, there's a book called 4 Disciplines of Execution. It talks about there's that you have to have first a wildly important goal, which is what he refers to as a lag measure. So lag measure is let's say the wildly important goal, the end result, right? And then you have to have something called lead measures, which are a few actions. You can't have too many. It could be only the most important actions, the biggest movers that will bring you towards that outcome. So you take, let's say your lag measure, for instance, is to lose weight, lose fat. Losing weight is stupid, by the way. You want to lose fat. You don't want to lose muscle mass. So don't say losing weight, say losing fat. Let's say your goal is to lose fat. Now, you have to have measurable lag measures and measurable lead measures, by the way. They have to be measurable. So you can't just say, I want to lose fat. You have to say, I want to lose 30 pounds of fat by the end of the year. Let's say that's your goal. 30 pounds of fat by the end of the year. So what is the most important lead measure, let's call it, in other words, what are the most important actions that will bring you closer to that goal? The actions that have the most impact. The Pareto principle, which is like 20% of the actions lead to 80% of the results. You want to find the 20% of the actions that will lead to the most fat loss, right? So I would say the first one would be diet and cutting out carbs and eating mostly healthy fats and protein and vegetables. That would be the number one thing, diet. I think that's the most important lead measure when it comes to fat loss. Number two, second lead measure would be exercise. Weight training, building muscle mass actually helps you lose fat. So that would be the second lead measure. The third lead measure would be proper sleep. Those three lead measures will help you lose weight. Very, very more important. Then there could be other people who say like, who have let's look at an example of a lead measure which is not actually important. A lead measure which is like weak. Let's say let's call it do 10 jumping jacks in the morning. That's a lead measure, but it's not very significant. It's not going to do much for you to lose weight. But if you're doing that, if you have 100 of random things like that, like let's say you could even have completely unrelated lead measures that will not lead to that result. For instance, like how do I say? God, it's difficult to find this because I'm not used to thinking about things that are ineffective. Hold on. For instance, if you have inaccurate information, you could think eating pizza, for instance, is a good way to lose fat. If you have inaccurate information. So if that becomes one of your lead measures, that's not good. It's ineffective. It's not bringing you closer to the result. And the way that you could figure out if your lead measures are taking you closer to the end result is to have lead measures that are measurable. So you could figure out if they are leading you to the end result or taking you further away from it. And if they're leading to the end result fast or slow. So you could figure out about lead measures by their effect on the results. So, for instance, if I was eating pizza every day, I guarantee you my results would not be good. I'll be able to see that. Then I'd go back, I'd change the lead measure, and I'd cut pizza out, and I'd do something else. I would, choose salad or something. But the same thing, I applied the same concept to women. What are the lead measures when it comes to women? So lead measure number one, I would say, is genetics, probably genetics. So that's something we can do a little bit about that in the fact that we can live in certain ways that will express certain genes. For instance, if you have a very improper diet, you could activate the genes that will give you acne, let's say, or like, cavities, etc. But if we eat healthy, we could activate the genes that will express health. So what I would say is instead of the lead measure for women, what I was saying, sorry, people are texting me right now. Number one, I would say the lead measures that you could do something about. That's what you got to focus on. You can't do anything about how you were born or the genetics that you were given. What you can do is, for instance, improve your diet. I would say that's one lead measure that will get you better with women. Improve your attractiveness, and you could, break that into sub goals. For instance, like dress well, maybe wear shoe lifts. Improve your voice. Voice does matter. If you have a high-pitched, squeaky voice, girls are generally not going to like your talking to you as much. You want to have a smooth, lower-pitched voice. I had a high-pitched voice in the past, and I kind of still do, so I know how it is. Number 3 or 4, I don't remember. I would say increase testosterone. I would say 5, you want to go into areas where there are women that you can meet. 6, I would say make it a rule that you try to meet at least 3 girls a day in the right way, in a way that is positive to the woman, not in a way that makes her feel terrible. Do it in a way that works well. And it's, if you are looking like shit and dressed poorly, when you go approach a girl, she will feel uncomfortable. So what you want to do is you want to look good, dress well, and approach with a behavior of a prince. You want to come off as a prince kind of thing. Like, don't lean in too much, kind of stay back and speak, but let her come in. Don't try to push onto her. Let her come in. Okay? So those things. But I noticed since I've been following these lead measures that I came up with, I've been getting a lot more results with my lag measure. For instance, I'm getting a lot more responses to the women that I meet. The numbers that I get a lot more responses now since I've been improving the more important aspects. So I would say that, and I gotta go now, but I hope this gives you guys some motivation to improve yourselves. And I think a lot more people can do well than not. I want to say, though, that I really empathize for the people who feel that there is nothing that can be done, who really have to struggle. And I will make videos for you guys a lot as well. I'm going to make videos for every type of guy. The Chad lights, the normies, the incels. I'm gonna try to touch base with all you guys, and I want you to know that a lot of people are in incel state right now. Even people who are in Chad lights are in incel state right now, where they're not getting any women. So I'll get back to you guys. All right, thank you. Later.